Hey everybody, it's David. We are in the middle of diving into research now, and you'll see a lot of my comments on your papers telling you to go to the CSU online library. Now, in the Start Here section of the course, there is a tutorial in there that talks to you about how to utilize the CSU online library, but I've been getting some questions from some of your fellow students on some challenges that they may be having finding some peer-reviewed sources for their papers. And what I tell them, and then I have some phone calls with them, is that a lot of this is really based upon the search terms that you use when you get to the CSU database. So one of the things I wanted to do today, is demonstrate for you some of the key things that you can do, some of the keywords that I would use if I happen to be writing a paper on adult students or adult working students. Now, one of the things that is different about an academic database than just a basic Google search is, like in Google, you can type out a question. Academic databases aren't that friendly from that perspective. And so, for example, I just logged into the CSU library. You'll need to make sure I'm already logged in using my IDs. It shows you how to use your IDs to get in, so I should have full range of the databases. But this is the search tool called Discover, and one of the things that I would do is getting started. I would take a broad search, and so for example, we're talking about adult students, and so you can always get more narrow as you go along, but if I did a search for adult students, oh, it's going to make me log in. Good. So I can log into this account, and it must have remembered my information. I type in adult students, and I do a search for adult students, and I'm going to get a bunch of stuff here. And so what I typically like to do is go down the left-hand side, make sure that it is scholarly peer-reviewed journals, and then I even like to narrow this down to geography, because as you see, you could get some interesting articles from around the world here. And so, for example, this top one, adult students in higher education, classroom experiences and needs. If you want to find the full text here, you can click on full text, and it will take you to ERIC, which is another database. And if you see up here on the right-hand side, download full text. So you can click that and download the full text of that journal article. So sometimes students forget to click on that if they don't see that there is a full text available from the main site. They don't go ahead and click through. But as you can see, on almost all of the ERIC database sites, you're going to be able to download the full text up there, okay? And so if you go through here and you start scanning this, you'll be able to see that even with just the general search term of adult students, you're going to get some potentially good research articles from ERIC and from other sources that could help you out. Now, if you wanted to dive a little deeper in that, the great thing about about this tool is that it will give you some suggestions. So you see, I've already typed in adult students, and if you type in adult students, it gives you some additional suggestions on where to go. So this says adult students or non-traditional students or adult learners. So if I click on that and hit search, it's going to give some additional things that talk about reimagining student engagement, how non-traditional adult learners engage in traditional post-secondary environments. And so you'll have the full PDF text that you can go get of that particular article. And so the key thing in doing this, and to me, the key thing I'm finding these peer-reviewed articles is making sure that you start off broad in your search terms. So I'm going to do non-traditional students. And so see, already they're giving me a bunch of additional suggestions. So I have non-traditional students if I want to start off that broad. And you'll see the different types of articles. Here's another one from that has a full text in here. You'll see some of these are the same. But then again, if I wanted to dive a little bit deeper in that, so it could be non-traditional students in higher education. And so that will narrow it down just a bit more. Okay? So I think one of the challenges, and this is based on the conversations that I have with a lot of students, is they treat this more like a Google search and they put questions in here or they put way too much information to start with. So again, my tip to you is to start off rather broadly, and then you can also go as deep as you want to a little bit later. But the broad searches may give you much more material, many more peer-reviewed articles that will be helpful for you. All right? Hope this helps.